Hi guys, I hope you are having a great week and I hope that you are getting excited about our class starting. And just a couple little details. I was planning originally to make this class be more private and more, everyone was going to pay $15 a family. And I realized that through all this process of trying to set everything up, that it was going to be a lot more work to do it that way. And so I've decided that I'm going to offer all of the classes on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to just go ahead and make them public. And that way, the families that are just not able to pay for the class but would really like to take the class are able to pay, go ahead and take the class. And I'm makersupport.com/Jenny Burns is where you can make pledges. I'm going to have there's actually a $2 a month pledge. There's going to be a $5, $10, and then $15 pledge. And so I just want to make our class available and want you to pay what you can afford to pay. So I hope that makes sense. You'll be able to see all the classes on the Maker Support page. You'll be able to see them just through YouTube if you decide to do it there. And in addition to the art classes, I also have a Facebook group that people have to request to be a part of. And so everyone can post there. It's called Jenny Burns Jenny Burns Beginning Art Class. And so I just want everyone to feel like they can do this. And, if you have a little bit of extra money in your budget and want to support me, we would love that too. And so let's get started. This week we are going to be doing, I don't know about you guys, but we have been having some gorgeous night sunsets. And there's just a really neat part about the winter is you get earlier sunsets, and we do here anyway. And so we're going to do this. It looks kind of complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. And so I'm looking forward to getting started with you guys. Before I get started, I just wanted to show you a little thing been working on. Super cute cow. I love cows. And so just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start out with our younger guys. And we're going to do, this is 140-pound paper. And I'll just show you this real quick. For my kids, I buy this, it's Canson watercolor paper, 140 pounds, and it's a really big one. It's 12 by 18. And I cut it into 6 by 9 inch pieces, and it's an affordable way to do it. So for the real little ones, Mom can help with this part, just we're doing a wet and wet, so we're getting this background nice and wet, and then mix up some colors. Oh, and I was going to also show, these are dry because they've been sitting for a while. And I keep this little mini mister in my paint supplies, and I just go ahead and get all my paints saturated. And then I'm going to mix up my blues. I'm going to do a couple blues. These are paints from just some fun ones. The paints are Royal and Lang Nickel. Okay. And we're just gonna pretend like we're two. Okay. And once they get some blues on their page, then you can set that aside for them and let it dry. And then we'll work on our Okay, guys, so now that our background is dry, we can take and make some trees. So let's, I don't really like to use black, but you can. And this is going to be like a silhouette. So you can basically do the same kind of tree that we did before. Well, this isn't quite dry, so it's gonna kind of bleed. You really want your tree to be good and dry. So see how I'm getting some fuzzy edges here? Wasn't quite ready. You can take a hair dryer and dry on a low setting. It's fun. Make a little triangle at the top. And just be creative with it. If you want to make a trunk, if you want to do 2 trees or 3 trees, you can do another one. And I haven't even added more paint there. See, this one is drier over here and it's not bleeding so much. And I know my kids, they like it to not bleed around like that. So get it good and dry before you start the next layer. All right. Getting our triangles. Let's do one more. These don't have to be perfect. Trees aren't perfect triangles. All right. Okay. Wonderful. And with this one, and if you wanted to on that one, you could also do like, so we're doing a moon in this one. You could take like a white crayon and make a moon for them. That would be kind of fun. Or they can make a moon themselves. So, let's see here. So you can draw the moon lightly, or you can just freehand it. I'm going to go ahead and draw. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get, the neat thing about watercolor is that you do, even though it mixes and the paints kind of fuse together and you don't really have control over what happens with that, you do have control with where the paint goes. So if I don't want paint in this shape of my moon, then I just don't put water there. Okay. And that's pretty wet because I'm gonna kind of figure out what colors I want over here. So these pretty blues. And then what I like to do is often I'll have like a scrap paper, and I like to kind of get an idea of how the colors blend together. So I might try these reds and see, oh, that's way too much. you notice I have two, so I'll mix some red. Maybe this. Kind of see what it looks like together. It's kind of fun. Okay. Get this up here. Kind of mix some blues. If you leave spaces without, I'm going to put some little red in there. If you leave spaces without water or without paint, it tends to look more like clouds. Let's add kind of a, I think I'm going to add a green. Let's see what that would look like. No, orange. Now, I'm going to let this run kind of this way. See what it does. Might be a little too wet. It's going to be pretty. I'm kind of going back and forth with some colors. It's going to be neat. A little more color over here. Put some more. See, there's the reds and the blues together kind of have made a, now if I make it run this way, what's it going to do? Okay, now let's let these dry. I think that's fun. If you want to dry it kind of sitting propped upright to let some of those colors run down, you can do that too. I'm going to put a little bit more. You don't have to do that. I just decided I wanted to. All right, let's let that dry. Okay, our background is dry. I'm taking my, it's a number 4 rigger. I'm gonna get some black. I'm gonna paint a trunk. And you can do your tree however you would like. Looks like my, can make it nice and tall. This is a fun way of practicing your brush strokes and getting control with your paintbrush. It definitely takes practice. I'm doing this first tree that's kind of in the middle, nice and dark. Just last night I saw the most beautiful sunset, and there was a scene almost exactly like this, and the trees just look black as black could be. And I know they're not, but it looks that way. And just have fun. You can add, after you've gone and you've done your first layer, you can add more if you want. Make it taller, whatever you want to do. And if you want to just stop there, that's a beautiful painting. But I'm gonna go on. Or you could just add maybe 1 or 2 more trees. But now I'll show you, for those that want to keep going, you can keep, if you add a lighter layer of trees and they go up taller, they start higher on the page, this will give the effect, the appearance that it's actually further in the distance, and you'll make these trees not as big as the ones in the front. You can give it a little shadow, although you probably wouldn't see those. And you can just have fun with this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could even kind of blur them out by adding a little bit of water. Oops. I'm going to add a darker one over here. It's not quite as close. Trees are so unique and so different. They're a fun subject. I'm going to add some more lighter ones back here. Do a little shadow. There's maybe some ground out there. Do a little more shadow here. I kind of went nuts on my shadow there, didn't I? It's okay though. If you want to lift some of the color up that you put on there, You can just get it wet and then take your paper towel and go dab it off a little bit. Sometimes it works. If it's too dry, it won't work. But there is a beautiful night scene, and I hope you enjoyed.